Welcome to the Everyday Black Men Podcast, a podcast for authentic black male thoughts. I am Riker, and I am joined by Armstead because R. Reed couldn't be here. Follow us on Twitter at EVYD Black Men, Instagram at Everyday Black Men, and Facebook at the Everyday Black Men Facebook page. And, of course, the website is coming soon.
Coming soon.
Maybe soonish.
Sooner.
We'll see.
We will.
But we got a nice little segment here for you. Even if R. Reed couldn't be here. We're going to talk about some of the things that are on everybody's mind. But, you know, before we get into any negative news, we're going to talk about one of the saddest events of this week.
Very sad.
But positive. Stan Lee passed this week.
He passed.
At a ripe age of 95. He was probably one of the greatest people to give kids imaginations.
Huge imagination. I still have imagination now to this day because of him.
Exactly. I mean, he was a great guy. He had some legal troubles here and there, but you know what? We're not going to judge a man because if you live long enough, niggas want to steal your shit.
And let's just give a moment of silence as he fades to nothingness, like Spider-Man did on Infinity War. Snap of the fingers.
Moment of silence over.
It's over.
What was your favorite Stan Lee cameo? Armstead.
Believe it or not, it was the one on Iron Man. I believe it was the first Iron Man when Tony Stark walked past him and tapped on the shoulder. Hey, what's up, man? And he turned around. He had the little pipe in his mouth, dressed up like the Hugh Hefner kind of sort of. Hey, who the hell was that? Who tapped me?
Exactly.
That was kind of funny.
That is kind of funny. I think my favorite one would probably be the one from Infinity War. I know it's close, but there's nothing funnier than Stan Lee driving a whole bunch of kids across, the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yep.
While they're paying attention to the literal spaceships touching down, which them kids probably ain't seen that since the last time they were in New York.
Yeah, y'all sit y'all little asses down.
Yeah, they did need to sit their little asses down, all right? We got aliens and shit coming. But all that aside, man, Stan Lee, like, wherever you are right now, we know you're making it a better place with just your mere existence. Yeah, man, I kind of hope he's in some place like nowhere.
Yeah, middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we're going nowhere. That place. But bringing it from Stan Lee, I wanted to talk about something that we don't talk about often enough, and that is the hypocrisy of Instagram thoughts.
Instagram thoughts. What you got to say about Instagram thoughts?
So what I got to say about Instagram thoughts is this. We had Brittany Renner, who released a tell-all book not too long ago. But she, talked about how she fucked this guy, and she fucked that guy, and she fucked the third guy.
Isn't that the same chick that said that she fucked with Kaepernick?
Exactly. That's the point that I was talking about. She's the same chick who said that she fucked Colin Kaepernick. Now, I get why. Because Colin Kaepernick, he was handling his business allegedly. Because, again, this is all hearsay. She said that Colin made her fly herself out there to see him. And then he only had relations with her like one time.
My thing is, how do somebody make you fly to where they are? Make you spend your money to fly down to my destination. How do I make you do that?
Well, he made her obviously with his swag. His swag was on full. You know what that's like.
Oh.
Yeah, like
too much sauce.
He had too much sauce.
Oh.
So she came out there with too much sauce. But my main thing is that why are you going to, put this business out here, allegedly, and throw all of me into the mix? Like, I mean, you could have said that you fucked a number of people. You could have said you fucked a certain quarterback, and people would have been guessing, hey, was it Tony Romo? Did she fuck with Tom Brady or Eli Manning or Peyton Manning or something like that? But no, instead, you're going to throw my whole ass American name out here.
Whole name.
First and last. And I'm trying to get back into league and put them in a position where I could sue them and better myself or something along those lines. But you're going to put all my shit out here for no good reason. So that's the hypocrisy of Instagram thoughts. Nobody said that you had to be a person who does anything, special. If you want to just show off your body and how great you keep yourself in shape, because she's a great looking girl. She's in great shape. She's probably eating right because I doubt that she crafted that body that she has right there.
What probably happened? What probably ended up happening was she probably got in contact with him. And he was like, yeah, I'm in such and such, if you ever want to come out, so you should. Oh, okay, I'm coming. And she flew herself out there thinking that he was going to break bread. And
I mean, yeah, they do be thinking that they breaking bread. And it's like, nobody promised you that we was going to break bread. Nobody said, hey, you know what we going to do? We about to break bread together.
yeah,
That's just not, that's
gonna
not
break
a
your
thing.
bread, and I'm gonna break my bread.
Exactly. We gonna break all this bread. Nah, nobody promised you that. So need to calm down. We don't have time for none of that. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. But we're not gonna give this too much mind because again, that's something that happened in the past. But the last topic that we're gonna talk about is one that is near and dear to us because we record in the great state of Georgia. And that is the election shenanigans. So today, that is November the 18th. Stacey Abrams has finally conceded her governor race governorship over to Brian Kemp, who has done everything he can to show y'all that he has been cheating every which way. Now, I respect Stacey. We can't let this go on for too long, and it doesn't look like she was going to have the necessary votes in order to force a recount. However,
you saw a lot of stuff that was happening.
Exactly. At the same time, he took 1 million people out of the voter rolls off WAP, and he fought long and hard to make certain that it was going to be as difficult as possible and force each county, whenever they tried to do a recount, to have as soon a deadline as possible.
Yeah.
So
in a lot of places, they especially in black communities, whatever, they actually like had like some of the voting machines like down.
oh yeah, they didn't work.
Yeah, they didn't work for some reason, and then of course people started to leave because they had to either go to work or something else is going on.
Well, yeah, I mean you've got people who are they're regular people, so they don't have time to like wait there, with their children and whatnot. Like you gotta go.
Exactly.
So that's kind of what angers me about the entire situation, because for Stacey to get as far as she did took a lot. It took a lot of numbers, took a lot of people, took God, took acts of people just coming together across state lines. And for this man to literally just cheat 1 million people out who we don't know how they would have voted, but we know they probably would have voted. And then for a lot of people, it's hard to restore your voting rights once you get taken off the rolls, because most places, they're not going to try to like help you. They're going to be like, oh, well, you were purged from the rolls for da-da-da-da. It's like, yeah, I didn't vote in the last couple ones, but why are you holding that against me now? Like, this is a candidate that I really feel for.
Man, how do you feel about people that don't vote?
I mean, I feel about people who don't vote the same way I feel about people who don't use condoms. I mean, you can't be mad that you're getting fucked up if you're not over here using protection. Voting is the way that you can make certain that your voice is heard. Now, I'm not saying that the presidential election, because, we got the Electoral College, and that's a whole nother can of worms that we could talk about another day.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, we are expecting you to get out and vote for the governor and for your local city officials, because earlier this year, I don't know if you were there when they did the primaries to like get the couple finalists.
No,
but those were really important because that's where you got all your judges. And so if you didn't vote in those, then you didn't vote for your judges, meaning that if you're ever accused of a crime, it might be the guy who says, I don't like black people in your actual district as your judge. Yeah. So every election is important. There's no election that is any more or less important than any other. However, at the same time, what you really need to think about and what you really need to be cognizant of is the fact that if elections weren't important, nobody would waste their time cheating or trying to rig voting machines one way or another, or deciding that they're only going to put 3 in one of the largest counties in the entire fucking state of Georgia, Fulton County. They wouldn't do that. They would spend their time doing other things.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like making money and, being racist and
makes a whole lot of sense there, buddy.
Yeah, keeping you boys down, because
you boys down.
the only people I see that are like, oh, the voting doesn't matter, are oftentimes minorities and other people, and it's like, bro, I know Buckteeth Jim is going to always be out there with his friends voting no matter what, and the reason for that is because even him, a quote unquote poor white trailer park trash, thank you, guy, understands the importance of voting. So if you don't understand the importance of voting, I don't know what to tell you at this point in time, because like a lot of people die for your right, A lot of people have given up things. I mean, I could list all the white people who died just to allow black people to vote, but that list is very long. So know your history, people. Know how many people had to come together, had to face, death and lynchings and dogs and police and corruption.
Fire hoses and
oh yeah, don't forget the fire hoses. Ooh. Don't forget the motherfucking fire hoses. But it's just it goes to show you that even as much as we won for the election, with as many women came up, and with the fact that we at least still got Florida in the running, because they're going to do their recount. I think that's not until sometime in December, but don't quote me on that. So we still got a chance that a black person could get elected to governor.
We still have a chance.
We still have a chance. But at the same time, like, y'all, we need to get out there. We need to make certain that, yes, we took a little bit of an L here, but, this is wins and losses. This is wins and losses.
Yeah.
We lost Stan Lee. We lost an election, but we're not going to overcome. We're not going to not overcome.
Yeah, we're going to overcome.
We're going to overcome.
That's what he meant.
That's exactly what I mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what he meant.
Ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to go into entertainment really quickly. So the movie was released near the top of the month called Nobody's Fool.
Nobody's Fool.
It's another Tyler Perry movie. It was actually really, really good. I was not expecting it. But Tika Sumpter, she can get it.
She can get it.
She can get it. She is a beautiful, gorgeous, black chocolate woman. I mean, everything that you would want. It also starred Whoopi Goldberg, the legendary, the great, one of the few, I think it's ELGOT or EGOTs. She's got an Emmy, she's got a Tony, she's got a Grammy. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg is doing her thing.
Yeah,
she played a really funny, weed distributor / mother.
Did she?
Yeah. She wasn't no just user. She was the distributor. She had trees for days, good sir, trees for days. And I'm pretty sure she was offloading them somewhere. They didn't show that in the movie. I guess Tyler's not trying to teach people how to sell that kind of stuff. But at the same time, getting back to it, so we had Tika, we had Whoopi Goldberg, we had Omari, and of course we had Tiffany Haddish, who played a little bit of the ghetto hood radish sister role, but she comes from a great place. She came from a great place. Also, Michael Blackston was in the movie for like 2 seconds. So
was he?
If you need spoiler alerts, this would probably be a point in time for you to check out. But overall, the movie's about redemption. So Tika's been dating this guy who nobody knows, and she needed to find herself. She needed to realize that, sometimes it's more than just, what you think is on your list. Check for what a person is. And that's what the movie comes to find out. Because at first we believe that her life partner or person that she was meant to be with is this super great guy who's always talking to her, and he works on an oil rig. But it turns out that
he makes bank.
Yeah, he makes bank. But he also only likes to talk about himself and several other things that are also pretty disparaging, which I'm only putting it like that because I want you to see the movie Armstead. I thought the movie was pretty darn good.
Yeah, I want to check it out.
It's a story of redemption. It's a story about change. It's a story of a man who is Omari Hardwick's character. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but basically he's a man who's gone to prison. He's done the wrong things. He has managed to change his life. He now owns a coffee shop. He does AAA meetings. And I meant AA meetings because there's no AAAs. It's Alcoholics Anonymous, not and Alcoholics Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous Association or anything like that. It's just Alcoholics Anonymous, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a joke at Riker's expense here. Thank you, Armstead. I appreciate it.
No
Sound
problem.
effects on point.
Yeah,
but it's just he's changed over here, and Tika's character, she kind of doesn't at first see anything for him, which I got to give it for Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish character is like, I just got out of prison, but just because he went to prison doesn't mean he's a bad person. She did a couple other things where you kind of wonder about who she is, but overall, the main message of Nobody's Fool is that you can't just judge people based on some things that you want supposedly in a relationship. You need to actually get to know the person. You need to actually see what they're about. And also, it never hurts to try to get somebody back by singing in the rain.
And it takes time.
It does take time. Everything takes time. But going from this on forward, Armstead, the other movie I wanted to quickly reach out was Bohemian Rhapsody, which was about the legendary group Queen. It was also very, very good.
Was it?
Nice story. Very different. I didn't know that Freddie Mercury was actually Farsi. That was different. I didn't know that was a thing.
He was who?
He was Farsi, so it's people who are from Persia originally. It's like an ethnicity. But yeah, that's what he is. And so I was like, oh, well, this is really interesting. This is really cool. They go into his background story. They go into kind of like how he had always, been a very big on fashion and style. And they just kind of give you like some of the other things on the background that you probably wouldn't know if you just, listen to Queen's music, but never actually grew up in the time. Because I didn't grow up when they were big. And by the time I was like old enough to really listen to music, he was dead. So, yeah. But I'm going to go from a one-sided Riker monologue into our actual next topic, which is going to be music. So, what did you hear this week, Armstead?
Shoot, well, Ice Cube just came out with an album.
Oh, shit. Ice Cube is coming out with an album?
Yeah, definitely know, of course, he's attacking the president.
Okay, all right. So he's coming at President. I think I heard that song. Was that Arrest the President?
Arrest the President.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Is it good?
It's pretty good.
Okay, all right. You always need something like, a nice actor / rapper / philanthropist / dad / all those things that Ice Cube has done.
I thought it was pretty funny because it's like, he went from fuck the police to arrest the president.
Yeah, fuck the police to do your jobs and arrest that motherfucker over there.
Actually, he went from fuck the police to playing a police officer in movies to arrest that president.
Well, I mean, Ice-T did kind of the same thing. But
I don't blame
you're right.
you though, man. Get that bank. I don't blame you.
But I think I've listened to quite a bit in the time since our last podcast. So I'm just going to go through. So at the top is Takeoff. He released his album, The Last Rocket. Of course, the lead song was, I think, Lost Memories. That was actually a pretty dope album. I was actually surprised that I have been replaying it. I'm not going to say that our friend Zero is right. So throwing you out a shout out there, Zero. He's got a podcast that is definitely one for the people, and you should certainly check it out. It's called the Black and Gold Cast.
The Black and Gold Cast.
That aside, Last Memory. Sorry, I said Lost Memory. I don't know why. Probably Lost Ones, Lost Tapes, Nas. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
But Last Memory, it was actually really, really good. The overall thing, just like The Martian, She Gon' Wink, None to Me, and Vacation was nice. I mean, he's going to take your bitch on a vacation. It's easy for me. I mean, I ain't got to take on a vacation. Takeoff going to take on a vacation. But, of course, that may not be your girl after that. But at the same time, he did take some risk on this. I thought that Infatuation was a little bit more of a song that I would see Quavo singing. Casper was pretty good. It felt like Wraith, but if Takeoff made Wraith, it didn't have the same beat as T.I.'s Wraith, but it was kind of like, I get that you want to,
Was it really the same like that?
Boy, it's talking about a Wraith. So I feel like, you got to listen to it when you get a chance.
Yeah,
but from there, heading into the next one, we got Joji, who came out with Ballads 1. It is nice. I kind of miss Pink Guy. I mean, I liked how he was rapping as Filthy Frank because he was really fucking filthy. He was Filthy Frank. Who became Pink Guy, and now he's singing and stuff, and that's not bad. It's pretty good. Probably the standout track from this would be Fun, because all his friends know Fun. They all pretty much left over the summer, and it's a song about him basically lamenting the fact that you can be rich as fuck, your AC broke, and your friends all have lives, so they have to go back to what they need to do, and you're just kind of like, damn, no fun. Going from there, we're gonna go into probably the thing that we're going to talk about the most, which is, do we really need producer albums anymore?
There was a big fight about that where people was like, producers don't need to be rappers and rappers don't need to be producers. It's like, wait a minute.
Oh my God, Ronnie.
It's, first of all, Travis Scott.
Great producer.
Good rapper.
Yeah.
Why can't that... Kanye West, another one. Well,
Kanye West,
kinda,
perfect.
Well, yeah, Kanye West too.
Look, we're gonna discard the last couple years and just say he went.
Okay, yeah.
We're just throw the last couple years. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not saying that we're going to forget that they happened, but we're going to give him a minor pass for the last couple of years. But The reason I asked that question is because our good friend Swiss Beats and Metro Boomin came out with albums. So Swiss Beats album, I thought felt a little New Yorkish. So it was kind of like,
where's Swiss Beats from?
Swiss Beats. I mean, I get that he's from New York.
Come on now.
But at the same time, look, man, the name of it was Poison. It wasn't bad. Like, I thought Cold Blooded as well as 25 Soldiers and Echo were all really great. Pistol on My Side, I didn't really fuck with as much. I get the intro and the outro thing, but okay. And Swiss Montana, I thought was a outsider.
Swiss
Preached
Montana.
by Jim Jones was actually better than what I expected it was going to be.
We got Jim Jones, so.
Yeah. And Stunt with 2 Chainz. I mean, any 2 Chainz song is
Yeah,
going to
it got
generally
2
be.
Chainz, so
it's generally going to be pretty decent.
2 Chainz.
But the one that was more surprising of the two would probably be Not All Heroes Wear Cape. You would think since Metro Boomin wants some mo, nigga, it would be upbeat, but like it didn't really be upbeat. It was kind of a little bit lower key than what I expected.
So wait, before you go any further, whose album do you feel like was better, Swiss Beats or Metro?
To be honest, I want to say Swiss Beats was actually the better album because Metro Boomin, there's just...
Are you saying that just because of like what he was saying, or was it actually like an overall majority just better?
Well, overall majority. So neither of them actually rapped on the albums. But Swiss Beats, always says stuff on his thing. Metro Boomin doesn't. But at the same time, I just felt like the Metro Boomin album, the biggest issue with it was that songs were kind of okay. Like 10 a.m. / Save the World by Gucci Mane was a great intro. But it's a slow song. Like, it's 10 a.m. and I'm working in the morning. It's like, all right, Gucci Mane's doing his thing. But at the same time, it's like, all right. I mean, Overdue by Travis Scott turns out to be pretty good. And Don't Come Out the House, I mean, at first, when I first heard it, me and a coworker, we were listening to it. And me and her, we looked at each other, we laughed. Because we were like, is this nigga actually whispering into the mic like this? Yeah, this nigga was whispering into the microphone.
So you think he Yin Yang twin?
Yeah, he basically did a Yin Yang twin / David Banner. But on subsequent listens, I was like, you know what? This is actually pretty fine. Because you actually have to listen closely to what he's saying or turn your stuff up. And then, like, the beat comes in at, like, a really weird time. So it's like, he's like, I'm talking really low. And then I came in like a motherfucker. And it's like, okay. It's like, whoa, shit, nigga. I like the energy. The Dreamcatcher by Sway Lee didn't do anything for me. Space Get Up by Gunna was okay, but 10 Freaky Girls by 21 Savage is pretty good. And then Travis Scott pretty much carries the rest of the album because he's on, 5 of these songs? 10
Freaky Girls.
And it's like, yeah. And then 10 Freaky Girls, again, 21 Savage carried that track.
21.
It's just like, come on. Like, I was expecting more Metro Boomin beats. I was expecting more like hot stuff. There was a lot of like back and forth. It was with Poison. Poison just flowed way better. Like, there wasn't a lot of up and down. Is Metro Boomin's album one that I will return to in the future? Probably. Because I'm probably gonna listen to it right after this podcast. Be honest. But will I listen to Poison more so over the coming months? Yes. Definitely.
I'm going to check it out once all these podcasts is on.
Yeah. Once the podcast is over, you definitely go check it out. But last but not least, our boy Vince Staples came out with No FM.
No FM.
And it's one of those things where it's like you never quite know what to expect from Vince Staples other than the fact that he's going to body whatever he does. And I know this is being touched on State of the Culture. Shout out to Joe Budden. Shout out to Jinx, shout out to Remy Ma, and of course shout out to the wonderful Scotty Beam. Yeah, you're fine, and you woke,
and you woke.
Some things I think you go a little overboard on, but at the same time, you know what? We need disagreements. Yeah, and Joe actually mellowed down the last couple of State of the Cultures that I've been watching, as I of course am a member of the culture, and I want to talk about the medium. But with Vince Staples, I think the State of the Culture cast was right. People are afraid to be on a track with him. Like, people know that he's going to come with 1,000%. So what do they do? They don't invite that nigga out. They're like, you know what?
Trying to get on the album with Eminem, and it's like, hey,
yeah, true.
Can you write like half of my verse for me?
Well, you only say you write half your verse. He's like, can you tell me what your verse is so I can scale mine to that intensity level?
There it is, Hey, it's whew.
Yeah, it is. It's whew, To quote our good friend,
Who was it for real? I can't think of his
Young Thug.
You know what? I heard that somebody. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they was telling me that Young Thug doesn't really eat. They said like he might. Somebody told me that they spent like a week with him or something like that, and they said all he did was eat Cheetos, and then he went to his like nutritionist or something like that, and they just gave him like nutrients and like vitamins and stuff through like a IV or something. I was like, what? That doesn't even make any sense.
Is getting IV treatments?
I was like, that shit don't even make sense.
Why is this nigga getting IV treatments?
I don't know. That's what somebody told me, but I don't think it's true. I didn't even look it up because I was like, this shit don't even make sense.
Yeah, that shit don't make sense. But if it does, man, that makes that nigga sound like he a cyborg. This nigga,
I'm just saying, like
3021.
The only thing he said, the only thing this nigga was eating was Cheetos, and then when it came for him to get his nutrients, popped the IV in his arm. What?
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah. That would explain some things, but that's
would it though?
Yeah, it would. It certainly would. But let's get into relationships. And for relationships, we gotta talk about that Jill Scott ghost blowjob thing. You seen that shit?
Yeah, I seen it, and I first thing first, I'm gonna say this: great job. It looked so real. It looked so. It gave me goosebumps. And
gave everybody.
I'm
goosebumps.
not the biggest fan of fellatio, but
really,
yes, it's not a It's weird. It's kind of I like it, you know what I'm saying, but I'm not the type that's like, man, I just want some head. I'd rather get some pussy. But anyway, great job, Jill Scott, on that. And the thing I don't understand is why people gave a big uproar about it. About she's a lady, blah blah. Have you really listened to her music?
Nah, I don't think people listen to it. Jill Scott is straight up
Jill
freak.
music straight up freak. She talks about all that stuff in her music, all of it.
And technically, if you've been to a couple Jill Scott concerts, this ain't the first time she's done a simulated act on stage.
So I was like, what
although
are you
this might be
about?
the most clear and the most potent one, but that just depends on who you're asking. Your Jill Scott heads, But Art said you were saying.
Like I said, I just get. Matter of fact, I got a crazy question for you, brother.
Go ahead, man.
Okay, check it out. So let's just say you got a girl, right?
Okay, I got a girl.
You got a girl. And would you have a problem if she had a dildo?
Would I have a problem with her having a dildo?
Yes.
Not really.
Okay, not really, right? Okay. So, and this goes for the ladies as well, how would y'all feel if your man had a pocket pussy? Yeah. You either have a problem with it or you don't.
Straight up dog.
Or no. It has to be, actually, let's not say pocket pussy. Let's just say just a pussy.
Blow?
It's like an actual molded pussy. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Let auto blow. We'll go auto blow.
Yeah,
we'll keep with the fellatio thing.
So check this out. So you would not have a problem with having a dildo, right?
Correct.
So let's just say y'all been together. Let's say y'all married, and y'all been married for like probably 4 years, and then you find out on last year that was actually a molding of her ex.
Oh shit!
Would that be enough to break off the marriage? Like what would that be?
Yeah, I think that's enough for an annulment.
You really think so?
Same thing if let's say so let's take the fellatio thing. Let's say that I had a realistic looking auto blow bot, and it's in this cute girl's image. And then I get married to my girl, and she find out that it's actually my ex-girlfriend before her who was just so great at giving head. I can understand a woman leave me for that, because that's some shit you don't do.
That one is a little different.
No, it's still a molding. It's still
a molding, but it's a full molding though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
but you would need the full molding to be there. I mean, even if you got, let's say you had a personal masturbator, so. That's a nicer way of saying pocket pussy.
There you go.
Personal masturbator.
Right.
But it was molded in the shape of your ex-girlfriend's vagina.
There it is.
That is still grounds to break up. All three cases, as far as Riker is concerned.
So my thing is that, so you'll be okay with it being in our situation, not our situation,
in our conversation.
In our conversation, for her to have a dildo. It was okay for her to have a molding of a random nigga's dick. Well, but the fact that it's her ex.
Realistic generic dick, yes.
Generic dick.
Yes, realistic generic dick, just generic 6-inch dildo. Yeah, fine. I don't care what it looks like. Realistic molding of an ex, different story. Because at that point, there are feelings and their thoughts and their associations with this. Now, I get it. Everybody has at least one thing most likely left over from an ex, whether it's a comb, it's a style, it's a shirt, it's a phrase, it's something. Everybody has something left over.
Yeah, they do.
But at the same time, you don't sit there and flaunt it. And you don't when it comes to sexually, because sexual compatibility is a huge problem for most people off WAP. Just because, I mean, you normally date someone because you're like, hey, we can have sex. And, or, you find out they're a great person, all these other things. But sex is normally something that, in the beginning is always hot flame. And then it kind of goes down. You kind of got to work on it to keep it at like a medium flame level. Because medium flame is what you want. But.
So how long would you have to be in a relationship with this girl for you to find out that it was actually a molding of her
It don't matter. If I found out and she on her deathbed, I'm still leaving her.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm that cold. I
don't really think this is being really cold. You know what I'm saying? It's more like, I don't know, because I brought the same thing up to a couple other people, and some people was like, man, she can't even have a dildo at all. What the fuck she got a dildo for if I'm there? You know what I'm saying? So everybody have their...
I feel like that's where people go over the line. Because it's like, a girl having a dildo does not decrease your manhood. Because if you truly are laying down the pipe, the dildo's only there for when you're not around. And you know what? Everybody masturbates.
And that's another thing I'm getting at. Because what if that dildo, let's just say you saw the dildo. Dildo's smaller than you.
Yeah.
Is it still means for you to break up?
I mean, no, it still means for me to break up. Because, again, it's about the thought. It's about the thought. Because even if she came up to you in the beginning of the relationship, said, hey, one thing that I have is that me and my ex, we both got matching sex toys made. Like, this is one of his penis, and then he has one of my vagina. Are you gonna be cool with that? Then at least you have the ability to make the decision. Mm-hmm. But that's like you being like, you know what? I'm gonna get with a girl, and I'm not gonna tell her that, hey, I got a molding of my ex's pussy. Like, that's never going to be okay. The same way that, like, let's say that you're in an open relationship with a girl and she's like, yeah, I might meet with a boyfriend, or, I might meet with a guy, and y'all cool. Like, you doing it, she doing it. But then you come to find out later on that guy that she went to meet with, she had actually been fucking that dude for like 6 months. Mm-hmm. And they were on like a first name, we'll never really be able to get along with each other, but we have great sex basis. Like, you're going to feel a different way because that wasn't information that was given to you at the beginning. And that's pertinent information. It's very important that you know so that you can be like, you know what? I want to do this. Or you know what? I don't want to do this.
So to add one more stipulation into it, y'all married and with kids.
Well, I'm not going to teach my kids that you need to be unhappy. So I'm still leaving.
Huh? Well, there it is.
Yeah, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. But no, great topic, Armstead. Great topic. Now, let me ask you a question.
Oh, Lord.
So, let's say that you invite a girl out on a vacation. Mm-hmm. Well, no, let's not say you. Let's say your homeboy. We'll call him R. Reed, who couldn't be here. R. Reed invites a girl out on vacation. Uh-huh. The girl gets there, and he gets there. And then
they're not there. They don't get there together. They get there at separate times.
Yeah, they get there at separate times.
Okay.
They go to this vacation spot. It's cool. The first night is great. They're going back to their cabin that they've rented out. It's only got one bed. It's an old rustic one.
Right.
And then she says that she's not comfortable with him sleeping in the same bed. And the guy says, you know what? Since it's the Me Too era, he'll get another room. And so he leaves her at the place that he paid for and goes back to Atlanta. Count the wrongs. Who was wrong and count them.
They both were wrong.
Exactly. Now, why was she wrong?
She was wrong because knowing the setup, you should have said something before I even made this purchase.
Correct.
Second thing is him. I feel like he's wrong because ain't no way in hell I'm about to pay for this shit and I'm not about to sleep on this damn thing. You either...
Yeah, you got a couch. You got a couch. You can sleep on the couch.
You better make a barrier and put some pillows and make a fort or something.
Again, if you are saying that we're equal, then we're the same. Now, let me throw another curveball because I told it to you wrong on purpose. Actually, he brought her up there and he left her stranded up there by herself. Is that an additional wrong or is that a casualty of the dice game?
She paid for her own?
No, he paid for it. He paid for the whole thing. He
paid for the
brought
whole
her
thing.
up there. R. Reed paid for this cabin, brought her up there.
Paid for her to come up there.
Yeah, paid for her to come up there.
Mm-hmm.
Gets up there. She says the thing. He says he's going to get another room. Instead, he ditches her, comes back to Atlanta.
But it's all paid for already.
Yeah, but it's all paid for.
Shit. Yeah, he's wrong.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have, and he didn't tell her either. Yeah, he's definitely wrong.
He didn't tell her nothing. He just went back. Go home. It was like, fuck it.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That's real
All
fucked
right.
up.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought you were going to say. But I'm going to end this with one final segment that we're going to call Wins and Losses.
Wins and losses.
So wins and losses, basically one of my friends, one of my homegirls, she is dating another woman. That woman is nice. We're going to just call them Melissa and Jordan. Okay. So Melissa let me know something that Jordan said. And so I want to bring it up, and I want to see if you like what came out of it.
Okay, I'm listening.
So what Jordan said is that women really like it when you buy them things. It may just take them some time to like it. Do you agree with that statement?
Women really like when you buy them things. It just takes them a while to get to like it.
It just may take them some time to like it.
Damn, it's kind of a yes. Women do like when you buy them things. Some depends on the female, because a lot of females just like just the fact of you just doing something for them. You know, depends on their love language or whatever. I know you about the love languages. But then some females would be like, "Nigga, did you really just get me this?" You know, like that would actually be a backlash, because you can go buy a female some chocolate and she's like, "Nigga, you know I'm allergic to chocolate, right?"
Yeah, the allergic.
Like, who you think I was?
Yeah, that can go south real quick. That can go south real fucking quick.
Yeah, so it really depends on the chick.
Okay.
Next part.
So you're saying it depends on the chick. So the second one, final one. So Jordan said this wasn't wrong, but is it wrong if you trick a guy to put his name on the birth certificate of a child you conceived with his baby mama?
Say that one more time.
Is it wrong?
For
you to trick another
for
guy?
A female to trick
you?
For me,
you Armstead,
me,
you have a baby with, let's just go with Melissa, because this is just a scenario.
Okay, I have a baby with Melissa.
Yes,
I get her
but
pregnant. You
trick, let's say, Simi.
I trick Simi
to put his name on the birth certificate.
On the birth certificate.
I know what you're about to say. Go ahead.
Am I wrong?
Yes. Are you wrong?
That's a great idea. No, I was playing. That's frog as fuck.
But at the same time, that's a hella win, ain't it?
It's damn.
Because if you ever want to be like, you know what, I ain't fucking with Melissa. They can't come after you. Your name ain't on that ain't on that birth certificate.
I mean, but she would know though.
She know, but by that point in time, it's too late though.
To be honest with you,
because they would have to literally force you to do a paternity test, and you could always refuse and say that you don't for anything from religious reasons to, man, fuck that bitch. Because Simi already signed his name on the birth certificate, so he's already on hook for 18 years.
18 years. There's no way getting out of that.
No, if you sign on the birth certificate, there's no way for you to get out. Now, you can get them to redirect it to somebody else if they're dumb enough to get the paternity test and it proves that they are that child's father. But who's going to be dumb enough to take a paternity test when you just got out of a loss?
Hey, man. Well, I'm going to tell you, Simi, he ain't dumb.
Oh, yeah. I know. Again, that shouldn't happen in a good scenario.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
But possible that somebody could trick somebody into that. And that, I think, is a gigantic win.
Yeah, I give that. Yeah, that's definitely a win.
Because, I mean, you can raise a kid right, but if you ever need a ripcord, you can always be like, nah, I was just stepping in because my friend Simi, he didn't really have his shit together. And, that's why I was like, but didn't you spend all this time with her? Do I have any kids by her? Well, none that we can prove. Well, I guess then I was just doing a favor for a friend.
Favor for a friend.
Exactly.
There you go.
And just make sure that you own all the shit and none of the shit's in her name. And, yeah. That's it. But did you have any closing thoughts there, Armstead?
Hey, man.
You still thinking about that last one?
I don't know. Me myself, man. If I were to ever have a kid, I would definitely want to be the father to that child.
I know you'd want to be the father to the child.
Especially if my seed is out there, yeah, I would.
But think about if you hated your baby mama and she was kind of
Yeah, but my child didn't do anything though. You know what I mean?
You were 10,000%. And you're saying all the right things.
My child didn't do anything. So, despite how I feel about her,
exactly,
that is still me in her. So,
You're right.
You know, what I'll probably do is do what I can to get custody.
Yep,
and
get
all
that
be
custody.
mine, and
Black men, you need to get that custody. Young men, get that custody. Don't let them women take that custody from you.
Yeah.
Because once they have it, that's a weapon that'll be used to beat you over the head again and again and again and again.
And again, actually, I know a couple of females, man, who just like, you know, if I were to ever have kids, you know, I'll pay
Child support.
child support. You can just keep them. I was like, what? For
Hey
real?
man, nah. There's a lot of women that are like that. They were like, you know what? I'm tired of it. Like I don't want to do this.
And you know what else I just found out recently too?
What'd you find out?
Growing up, I always thought that women could not get their tubes tied until they had at least one child.
Well, it depends on the doctor. So
Yes,
some doctors
exactly.
will tell you that you're not allowed to get your tubes tied unless you are 25 or if you get married. If you get married and your husband's there with you, some doctors will say, yeah, you can do it. But you can't make that decision by yourself till you're 25. Normally, if you're a single, straight woman.
I know a woman right now who's, I think, 23 or 23, and she got her tubes tied. And she does not have any
She
kids.
has a great doctor and one who is not biased
I
because
was
so many of
so
them,
surprised.
like that's something that you never.
I thought she was lying. I was like, you was lying your ass off. Ain't no way in hell. That is against the law. You can't do that, blah, blah. She was like, no, it's true. I was like, what?
Nah,
Let me look this up.
It just requires you getting a doctor who's not an archaic old fuck.
Yep.
Because as a man, you can get a vasectomy at 18 if you want, 17 and a half if your parents sign.
It is.
Exactly, and that's part that's ridiculous. Because at least with ours, it's easier for ours to be reversed because they really just making a snip here and a snip there.
Yeah.
Whereas with women, I mean, they literally either tying your tubes or they're cutting one
Or
and hoping that
burning
the
them.
eggs or burning them and then hoping that, you know, they end up in the wall and that, you know, all kinds of shit can happen with that. With sperm, like even if, you know, your sperm's still swimming in your ball sack, if it's cut off, it just stays there and, you know, it just stays.
That's it.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to this episode of the Everyday Black Man Podcast.
Thank you.
Check us out on Stitcher. Everyday Black Man. We're on Spotify. We're on SoundCloud. We're on Apple Music. We are on Google Play. And we, of course, are on Spreaker.com. You can find us on Twitter at
DBlackmen.com and our Facebook page, everydayblackmen.com.
Yes, and of course, we are on Instagram at Everyday Black Men.
The Black Microphone.
But we are going to go ahead and say peace. Have yourselves a good week, and we'll be back next week, folks.
And we're out. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.